Hi, everybody. A very good evening. Thank you, IFA Galaxy, for giving me this opportunity. How many of y'all have received a video link from one of your clients saying, explain what he's saying, and this is not what you told me, and you had to go back and give some explanations because some client randomly sent you some video on the internet and you were not and when you looked at the video, you understood this guy is talking stupid, but you are not able to convince your client why the video that is sent out to you makes no sense. How many of y'all have received such a video? Raise of hands. Awesome. I think 70% of y'all think that your client has received such a video and y'all have had to give them explanation of why what you've done for their investment is correct and not what the video is saying. Do you know why this is happening? This is happening because you are giving somebody who's not from the industry, does not understand investing, does not understand the nuances of behavioral and investor management. You are giving them an opportunity to become an influencer, which ideally should be you. In fact, a lot of people like us, I would not name myself right now, I am in a different hat. But let's say a lot of people on the internet today who have a lot of following are the ones that your client look up to and not you and me as advisors. Because unfortunately, it's the following that these guys have that makes your client believe that they are far superior than you and I are. And in my opinion, the only reason this is happening because you and I who are in this business are not really influencing our clients, which is why they are getting influenced by somebody else. My topic for the day is to help you all understand exactly this. You will have absolutely nothing to click from the presentation that I will do because it just has one word on every slide. But I really want all of you all to hear me out and my perspective on why each one of you really need to look at client acquisition a little differently versus the way you've been doing so far. How many of y'all are there on any media? Social media, TV media, raise of hands. Okay. How many of y'all are there on TV media, if I may ask? TV media? Okay. Why do you think that you either like to be on TV as a medium or why would you aspire to be on TV as a medium? Okay, let me ask this question first. How many of y'all have aspiration to be on TV media? Okay, very good. I'm pleasantly surprised that a lot of people have this aspiration. Why do you think coming on TV or any form of media is something that y'all want? Credibility? Influence a lot of people? Create awareness? Okay, so in my opinion, there are a couple of reasons why some of y'all might want to come on TV. First is y'all think TV gives you a lot of branding. Yes, no? A lot of y'all probably think TV gives you a lot of visibility. Yes, no? I might have a different view, but this is the general perception that a lot of people have. A lot of y'all might think TV gives you a lot of respect. Yes, no? Yes, no? A lot of y'all might think TV gives you a lot of business. Yes, no? While assuming that all of these things are correct, hypothetically assuming all of these things are correct, that if you are on TV, you will get branding, you will get visibility, you will get respect, and probably you will get some business out of it. How many of y'all think it's easy to make to TV? If it was so easy, a lot of us would have been on TV, right? Yes, no? Right? So, the point that I'm trying to start my presentation with is that a lot of y'all want to be on media because y'all think it gives you branding, visibility, credibility, business. But a lot of us, for some or the other reason, cannot make it to TV. While I don't believe TV gives you all of these things, and I'll talk about it in a slide going forward, but I think the best way, if at all, most of y'all want to do this and get the same result, it is actually social media and not TV. social media is much easier for each one of you sitting here in the audience to get all of these things that you aspire that you will get from TV. Let's talk about branding. Okay? How many of y'all sitting here know, let's say, Padmanabhan sir? Can I please request you to rise, please? How many of y'all know him? Okay. How many of y'all know Mahesh sir? Two legends sitting here. Both of y'all, Subra sir and Sham sir. How many of y'all know him? Okay. While of course they have enough and more credibility that they don't really need social media or TV in that context. But please understand the reoccurrence of why you look up to them has now gone beyond just you admiring them for their knowledge. Because when your client comes back and tells you that I saw this guy on one of the televisions, or if somebody comes back and tells you that this guy's got 100K followers on some social media, your audience that you are trying to sell to weighs credibility depending on the following that each of these individuals have. You might not believe, but this is unfortunately the truth. Right? And it's not now just about their knowledge. It is way beyond their knowledge, which is re-emphasizing the fact again and again that they are visible to you, either through a Twitter, through an Instagram, through YouTube, or any of these platforms that people generally use. Second, I'm not sure if you all face this problem, but how many of you all have a problem engaging clients that are already a part of your ecosystem? Finding problem in engaging clients? Anybody? None of you all have problems in engaging clients? Okay, brilliant. I thought we will have a lot of people who would say that I find it difficult to engage clients. In my opinion, social media is a brilliant way to engage clients. Why? Because every day you cannot send them a message or a WhatsApp broadcast saying, what do you feel about the markets? Or why the markets have fallen? Or why something has happened? And what should they do? But when you continuously keep writing on social media, right, and your clients read that on a regular basis, it is re-emphasizing the same fact again and again that you actually want to communicate to them but can't send a WhatsApp every day. So in my opinion, if TV is something where you really want to be but can't, social media is a brilliant replacement. Gives you the branding that you want, helps you engage with your existing set of investors, and third, it also gives you traditional media. Okay? Now, why do I say this? I might be probably a lone example, but I have honestly got traditional media, which is the Z's and the CNBCs and all, only because of my active writing on Twitter. Right? Most of these guys, before I started writing on Twitter, had no idea about me. And there are so many of y'all very similar to who I am, right? But are not available or visible to the traditional media because they don't even know you exist. So my personal example is an example that I can give you, that if traditional media is where you want to be, you will have to be visible to them. And that visibility is only through social media, or probably I would say it's the easiest through social media. And the fourth point about business. In the last slide, when I presented this, right, that why do you want to be on media? A lot of y'all agreed that probably being on media gives you business, right? While I have been on media for quite a less time, but honestly, I would have not got more than 2-3 clients or more than 2-3 clients just because I'm on CNBC or Z or ET Now or NDTV. It probably re-emphasizes, but I am not sure if I have personally got a large clientele just because I am on TV. But I will tell you a little about social media. This is what we did last quarter. Last quarter, we got 1,200 plus leads generated only through social media. Last quarter, we got 67 lakhs of SIPs only through social media. Just the last week, we would have closed 85 plus clients only through social media. And we would have done 50 crore plus of AUM in the last quarter alone only through social media. Only through social media. And if anyone sitting here in the audience follows me on social media, you all know what I'm saying. Right? So, the first point that I really want to make here is that you might want branding, you might want visibility, you might want credibility, you might want business, you might want to engage your clients on a regular basis. You might think that traditional media is the way to do it. If you really ask me, social media is a far better way to do it. And it will also lead and open up doors for you for traditional media. And that's the right approach to take, at least in my opinion. How many of y'all will agree with me that in our line of business, probably the channel that most of us look up to is CNBC? Raise your hands. Not popular here in South? Okay. I think a lot of us in this business, apart from local language, if English is the medium of language that we love watching, probably the first channel that we would think of is CNBC is what I think. This is picked up from one of the sales presentations of CNBC that they had sent out to a client who wanted to advertise with CNBC. And if you see an important number here, it says that they have a reach of 2.1 million viewers on an average in the month. Okay, I repeat, they have a reach of 2.1 million audience on an average in a month. This is from the sales presentation that CNBC sent out to one of the clients. Okay, now the reason why I want to show you this is for you to understand that the business numbers that I spoke to you of is not specific to me. It is nothing outstanding or extraordinary that I am doing. Right? Each one of you sitting here in the audience can replicate everything that I am saying. And I'll tell you why. How many of y'all can calculate how much would a 15,000 rupee SIP at 12 or 15% will become 25 years from today? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. I'll repeat because I'm surprised that there are only 10, 12 people who think they can calculate. How many of y'all can calculate how much will a 10,000 rupee SIP become 15 years from now at 12 or 15%? Raise your hands. Even if you can't, there are millions of calculators on the internet which will show you what the number will look like 15 years later. I think each one of us in this business can do this calculation, if not on Excel or on a calculator, but using some software or some calculator available on the internet. Do you think this is any significant content by any standards? Is this any difficult content by any standard? Yes, no? I'm going to show you a video. If at all we can play this, because I want to re-emphasize on the point that I'm trying to make to you all. If we can play this video, okay? Okay, forget about how it looks and all of that. Just watch the video.
You can actually add 1 crore rupee to your net worth every year thanks to power of compounding. Let me explain. If you invest 25,000 rupees a month and assuming 15% return on your investment, you will take 12 years to get to your first 1 crore. The journey from 1 crore to 2 crore will take only 4 years then. Journey from 2 crore to 3 crore will take 2.5 years. 3 to 4 will take 2 years. 4 to 5 will take 1.5 years. And from there on, you will actually be able to add 1 crore every year to your portfolio. And that's the advantage of starting early. So imagine if you start at 25, probably somewhere around 45, 46, you will then be able to add 1 crore to your investment portfolio every year with a mere 25,000 rupee SIP. Share it with your friends so that they start early investing. And as always, follow me to become better at your personal finance. Thank you so much.
Now, how simple a calculation is this for you and me? Is it difficult? It's just calculating how much will a 25,000 rupee SIP become, right? I will show you some stats. This is the stat of the video. The video got 31,000 likes. The video got 1,232 comments. It's something like save, where somebody is saving it today so that they can view it again in the future. The video got 22,500 saves. And this video got shared 71,000 times. And basis this, I got 25,774 followers just by this video. This is not the following of a lot of people that I know for donkey years that they've been making content. This one video gave me 25,000 followers on LinkedIn, on Instagram. Tell me, how difficult is it? Is it any difficult? Right? CNBC's, now I will go back to this data point. CNBC's monthly average user or viewership is 2.1 million. This video alone, it does not show you here. This video alone has 3.3 million views. And this is not just one video. There are ample of these videos that I have put up, and I've realized that this is what works on the internet. Right? Now, why am I telling you this? For a lot of y'all who probably know me and we've interacted in the past, y'all know I'm slightly a more technical content guy. At least in the fixed income space and macros, I talk a little bit of technical. A lot of people got back to me saying, what crap are you putting up on the internet? Right? This is not what we want to hear from you. What I want you all to understand is, when you put content up on the internet, you are not trying to please people in this audience. This audience is not your audience on the internet. Your audience is somebody sitting in the tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5 city who does not even know this concept. Because if that guy knew this concept, this would have not got 70,000 reach or 70,000 shares. So when you make content on the internet, you actually do not think of what is your fellow MFD or some AMC guy or your mentor thinking about you when you make the content. You have to understand that you are making the content for somebody who does not know anything, because that's a very large pool, and this audience sitting here is a small pool that you don't want to please. So, is it specific to me that we got the business that I spoke to you of? The answer is no. I don't see a reason why anybody sitting here in the audience cannot make this content. And if you can make this content, reach is unparalleled. Unparalleled. Each one of you sitting here in the audience can, in my opinion, make this content, because very honestly, and I'm sorry I'm saying this content is bullshit. Right? When I made this and I put it up, I told my team that I don't want to put this content. Is when they said that you don't understand internet, you keep doing your job, let us do our job. Right? Is when I realized that when I made my first video of talking about how global macros are going to impact Indian stock market, or how the alcohol industry is going to change because of the government policies, I got no views. That's when I realized that all of this gyan is only for Twitter. If you want to be on Instagram, you will have to go down to the level of the audience so that they understand what you are saying and connect with you. So I don't see a reason why anybody sitting here in the audience cannot replicate the content that I made. Okay? Now, how do you plan content? So the first part was where I tried telling, or at least emphasize the point, at least the way I am looking at it is, that if you want to be on traditional media, social media is a great place to start. And very honestly, in my opinion, social media will give you more business, more credibility than the traditional media will give you. Right? Now I'll tell you how to plan your content. Look, I'm no expert, right? But I've been doing this for the last 3-4 years. So I can tell you what I've learned from making mistakes by writing on Twitter, LinkedIn, doing a little bit of YouTube and Instagram. So I'm going to share with you whatever I've learned in the last 3-4 years that I've been doing, or what kind of content to put, when to put it, which platform to use for what output do you need, and how do you go about doing it. So we will try and understand now which platform do you put content on, what language works, how often should you post, and what should be the timing of your post. This has worked for me, and I'm assuming that if you just replicate this, it probably might end up working for you, because there is no different audience that you are trying to reach that I am trying to reach. This may be too many points in one slide, but here's when I want to spend most of my time. So I do four platforms. I write on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Insta, and I'm on YouTube. Okay? Now there are 5 things that I would believe most of you all wanting to do content will look out for. The first is traditional media, right? So if you are on Twitter, can you get traditional media? Answer is yes. I know of so many people in our ecosystem who are as new as I was, but now they've got media only because they've been writing some very good content on Twitter. So if your idea is to do traditional media, you should start spending more time on Twitter. Will you get traditional media if you do LinkedIn, Insta, YouTube? Maybe no. Maybe no. Of course, if you become very large, you have some 5-6 million followers, then the traditional media will call you. But in general, traditional media won't call you unless you become that big on other platforms. But on Twitter, if you start writing good content, definitely a lot of these guys are hungry for good people like you. They will definitely want to reach out to you. Second, leads. Business, I'm sure most of you all, because we'll invest time and energy, you will want some output out of it. Honestly, if you are a manufacturer, when I say manufacturer, you run a mutual fund, you run your own PMS. If you're a manufacturer, Twitter is brilliant. Twitter is brilliant. But for a distributor, Twitter is not a great platform, right? Because on Twitter, every second person that you end up meeting is a stalwart in himself or herself. And unfortunately, I see people fight on Twitter only to prove I'm better than you. You don't want to be in that space, right? So if lead generation is what you want to do, Twitter is not the right platform for you. Actually, the right platform for you is LinkedIn and Insta for Twitter. YouTube has actually not worked for me, would have worked for somebody else, but I don't get a lot of leads from YouTube, right? I get most of my leads from LinkedIn and Insta, right? Insta, you get the highest number of leads, but the quality of leads is very high on LinkedIn. That's my personal experience. Branding. If branding is what you are aiming for, right? Twitter gives you branding amongst our community, right? So Twitter will give you branding amongst the AMC guys. Twitter will give you branding amongst the MFDs, right? Or the allied ecosystem. Nobody, when you walk out to an airport, is going to come to you and say, I want to click a picture with you. I love what you write on Twitter. Does not happen, right? You want the branding, you will get that branding from Insta and YouTube. I am sure most of you all will agree with me how a lot of people who are not from this industry also and don't understand finance and investing have become a much bigger brand than you and I are, just because of the kind of following that they have on Insta and YouTube, right? So if your branding is what you're looking at, Insta and YouTube will be brilliant. A lot of people might do social media to make revenue, right? Because these platforms also pay you. The only platform that actually pays you is YouTube. Nobody else pays you anything material enough, right? And the last, followers. If your aim is to acquire more followers, right? Twitter is the most difficult to acquire followers, right? The easiest, in my opinion, to follow acquires is Instagram, right? And medium will be probably LinkedIn and YouTube, right? The advantage of YouTube is nobody unfollows you ever. Have you ever realized somebody coming and telling you that, you know what, I was subscribed to your channel, I'm unfollowing you? Does not happen. And hence you will generally see that anybody, if has 100 followers on Instagram, will have 200 followers on YouTube, because there is no unsubscribe that generally happens on YouTube. Right? So that is what you need to understand when you talk about media, leads, branding, revenue, and followers. Here's what my learning is of the kind of content that you should put where and how, right? So if I start with Twitter, of course it is largely text. The kind of content that works for me on Twitter is either education or news. So either you keep talking about what is happening currently in the market, what is Trump going to do and how is Trump going to impact macroeconomics and how India and all will get affected. Either you do that kind of content or you write threads educating people on how to use an SWP or how SIP will make you rich and how compounding plays a role. So on Twitter, either you do a lot of content around the latest happenings in the market, or you write education threads. Both of these things will get you the kind of eyeballs that you want on Twitter. Language, English, periodicity, you can write as many times as you want. Now, why is this important? Because on multiple platforms, let's say on a LinkedIn, if you write 5 times a day, it will kill your reach. It will kill the reach for the first 4 posts that you've written. But that does not happen the same way on Twitter. On Twitter, you can write as many tweets as you want in a day and it will kind of give you the same reach every day or every time you write it. What works for me on Twitter is 8 a.m. I've realized this when I look at the analytics, that 8 a.m. is when I get the highest views for anything that I write. I don't know why does that work, but 8 a.m. really works for me. LinkedIn, you can write text, again like Twitter, but on LinkedIn, you will have to club the content that you write with a little bit of motivation, a little bit of employer-employee relationship, a little bit of career focus or goal-oriented kind of content, because that picks up very well on LinkedIn. I'll tell you one very interesting learning that I have on LinkedIn. While on Twitter, threads do very well, right? So while you're trying to do an education content, you write multiple short tweets that do very well. But on LinkedIn, a little longer content does very well. So I have, for the longest time, what I used to do is copy whatever I've written on Twitter and just paste it on LinkedIn. Over a period of time, I realized that LinkedIn does not give me the same reach that Twitter was giving me. And somebody who understands this space told me that you might have to write a little longer on LinkedIn for you to get the same reach. As soon as I started implementing that, I really got the reach that I was looking at from LinkedIn. So you might write very short on Twitter, but you will have to write a little longer on the same topic on LinkedIn, because that works far better. On LinkedIn, you can post thrice in a week. So you can do either every day or thrice a week. What works for me, 8 a.m. or 6:30 p.m. I'm assuming because that's the time people are commuting to office or coming out from office, and that is where they are on LinkedIn, and hence both of those times work for me. Insta, this is what I really want all of y'all to focus on, right? Of course, you all know video content. One very important thing that I want to draw your attention to is don't try and show the world that you understand. Keep it extremely simple, like I showed the video, because the more complicated stuff that you put on Instagram, it will not work. You are talking to somebody in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 who does not understand anything. And hence, make sure that your content is extremely simple here. Your content should be less than 90 seconds is another learning. Because only if your content is less than 90 seconds, it is shown on the Discover tab. So when you go through those reels, right, and random reels come to you, Those reels are only coming to you because their video is less than 90 seconds. So very important learning, do less than 90 seconds. Another very important learning is do regional language. English is an extremely crowded space. You would want to do local language because local language works the best on Instagram. So don't try and do English. Try and do regional language because that, in my opinion, has worked. You can put 3 times a week or every day. 12 p.m. is probably where it works the best for me. I don't know why. Okay, YouTube, again, you do video. You can put any kind of content that you probably specialize in. A 7 to 8 minute video, does the best. So here you are doing less than 90 seconds. Here you are doing 7-8 minute videos, right? Again, regional language does very well. 6:30 p.m. is where it does very well for me. I'm assuming because the content is 7 to 15 minutes, so they will watch it once they are done with their jobs. This is what I've been able to figure out for myself over the last 3-4 years that I've been doing content. And I'm just hoping that even if you all just replicate what I'm doing, most of my learning over the last 4 years of doing this, like I said, there are 3 major things that you all can typically focus on while you all are making content. First is talk about the trending things that are happening. Talk about some latest news, and educative content does very well. Just randomly educate people about life insurance, general insurance, wills, SIPs, mutual funds, does very well. Now, a lot of you all might wonder that if there are 4 different platforms, how do I manage 4 different platforms and 4 different content? Very honestly, I put the same content on 4 platforms. I don't write 4 different contents for 4 platforms, right? So you decide on a topic, you make a 90-second for Instagram. You decide on the same topic, you make a 7-8 minute on YouTube. You decide of a topic, you write very small on Twitter. The same topic, you write a little more for LinkedIn. So it's the same topic that you actually use on all 4 platforms. So you don't need too many ideas every day. One idea and you can replicate the same across all the 4 platforms. Any of y'all who've been following me, y'all will now realize that it's the same thing that I write on all platforms. You don't need to think of what new to write on what kind of platform. A lot of y'all sitting here might think, can I do it? So one part of it is content. And I told you, keep it as simple as possible. There's actually no cost of doing it. I can tell you, I record it on an iPhone. I have a 500 rupee stand that I use. Video editor charges me 400 rupees per video. Might be lower or higher in your case. And it does not take me more than 15 minutes. That's the kind of time, energy, and resources I spend to make one small video on YouTube. Can you all do it? Is this difficult? Will I see more of you all doing this? Because we do not want to complain that somebody else who does not understand investing is influencing your and my clients, because you are the best influencer. Okay, I'll give you quick hacks that I use. First, on the Twitter, you have something called as the press the bell icon. I don't know if you all know, but whoever you want to follow and want to read their content and you think that these guys write very well, right? Just press the bell icon. What happens then is you will start receiving notifications every time that person posts. So I have some 10-12 people that I have pressed the bell icon on, and I don't read everything that everybody writes. At the end of the day, I just read what those 12 guys have written, and I'm updated with what happened in the entire day. Use that effectively. On LinkedIn, a lot of you all might wonder, and I've seen a lot of us, even when we like somebody's content, don't like it, or we don't comment on that for whatever reason. On LinkedIn, the day you start liking or commenting on somebody's post, every time that person writes a post, it comes up on your feed. So if you want to follow what somebody in the genre that you all love is writing, you will have to like or comment on their post so that the next time they write, that post comes up and you are able to view it. On Instagram, there is something called as a broadcast list. Once you start doing Instagram, start making a broadcast list, because what happens is whenever you make a video, just put that up on the broadcast and suddenly you will have that 12-15,000 people will watch your video and you will get the immediate start that you want. And last, whatever videos that you make for Instagram, if that video is less than 60 seconds, you can put that up on YouTube as a short so that you don't have to make a different content for YouTube. These are some quick hacks that I thought I will talk to you all. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.